You know how sometimes you just feel present? Like you're in the world, breathing, but nobody really sees you? That's how it always felt with my family, if I'm being honest. I wasn't the shining star, and I certainly wasn't the black sheep. I was just there. The kid in the middle, always doing what was expected, but never quite hitting the mark, you know? My mom and dad waltzed in, laughing about something, some inside joke that I was never clued in on. But the second they saw me standing there, you could feel the temperature drop in the room. "What's with the tude?" my dad asked, his eyes getting all squinty. I took a deep breath, still holding on to my messed-up notebook. "Ask him," I said, pointing my head towards my brother. He ripped out my notes, then tossed them away like they were garbage. My mom barely even glanced at him. "It's just paper," she said, waving her hand like it was no big deal. I looked back and forth between them, waiting for something, anything. Even just a "hey, that wasn't cool, don't do that again." But nada. Instead, my brother just smirked. "Yeah, just paper," he repeated, like he knew he'd already won the argument. I squeezed the notebook tighter. "Right, of course." I turned to head upstairs, but my dad stopped me. "You know, this attitude is exactly why nobody wants to be around you." I froze in my tracks. "What?" I asked, turning towards him. My mom just looked tired. "You overreact to everything," she said, "always playing the victim, always causing problems." Causing problems? I let out a laugh that probably sounded pretty bitter. For what? Expecting basic respect? For not wanting my stuff trashed? My brother snorted. "God, you're so dramatic." I shook my head. "You guys act like I'm the problem, but you don't even see what he's doing. You just let him get away with everything." Dad crossed his arms. "'Cause he's not the one constantly whining." That stung. But what came next was even worse. My brother leaned back on the couch, arms stretched behind his head, and smirked. "Nobody wants you here, man." I felt my stomach drop, but it was my parents' reaction that really broke something inside me. They nodded. They actually nodded. My mom didn't say a word, and my dad didn't argue. They just stood there, silent, like it was a fact they'd already accepted a long time ago. I didn't yell or beg them to take it back. I just took a breath, and something inside me went cold. "Okay," I said simply, and walked upstairs to pack my bags. And I just left. But that wasn't the end, not even close. Because the next morning, my phone was blowing up with like 12 missed calls. That's when I knew leaving was the best choice. I didn't answer any of them. Not at first. I just stared at my phone, watching the notifications pile up. Calls from my brother, my dad, even my mom. For a family that didn't want me, they sure seemed desperate to reach me now. I just let it ring and ring. I wasn't in any rush. After walking out the night before, I didn't even have a plan. I just threw my stuff in a duffel bag and walked out, feeling completely numb. I ended up crashing at a friend's place, someone who actually gave a damn about me. He didn't ask a bunch of questions, didn't push me to talk. Just handed me a blanket and said, "You can stay as long as you need." It was more kindness than my own family had shown me in years. But now? Now they wanted something. And I had a feeling it wasn't because they suddenly missed me. By the time the calls finally stopped, a few texts started to trickle in. The first texts were exactly what I expected. Mom texted, "You're being immature. Come back." Dad texted, "Enough of this nonsense. You need to stop acting like a child." I scoffed. So, I really left, and they weren't sorry. Then, I saw a message that was different. Mom texted, "Come home now. We have a problem." I stared at the screen, my pulse quickening. A problem? I thought about ignoring it, but my curiosity got the better of me. So, I finally texted back just 2 words. "What happened?" Her reply was almost instant. "Your brother screwed up. Bad." And just like that, I knew they didn't miss me or want me back. They needed me. And that gave me an idea. I leaned back on the couch, staring at my phone. Now they need me? Interesting. I wasn't about to respond right away. I figured I'd let them sweat a little. If my brother had really messed up, then whatever he did had to be pretty big if my parents, who had never once taken my side, were now reaching out. After about 10 minutes of silence, more messages started coming in. Dad texted, "We don't have time for your attitude. Just come home." Mom texted, "Please. This is serious." Serious? That almost made me laugh. When my problems were serious, they told me to just get over it. But now that my brother was in trouble, suddenly it was an emergency. I took my time typing my next response, not my problem. A minute passed, then another. Then my dad called. I let it ring, then declined it a second later. A text popped up from my dad. "You're being selfish." I blew out a breath through my nose. Selfish? That was rich coming from him. Then my mom texted again. Your brother's been arrested. I blinked. Okay, now I was interested. I grabbed my friend's car keys off the counter. I need a ride. He raised an eyebrow. You sure? I thought you were done with them. I smirked. Oh, I am. But I gotta see this for myself. 15 minutes later, I pulled up in front of my house. My dad was pacing on the porch, phone in hand, looking more stressed than I'd ever seen him. My mom was sitting on the steps, head in her hands. For once, there was no laughter, no dismissive comments, just pure, raw panic. I took my time walking up to them. So, I said casually, who wants to tell me what happened? My dad turned, his eyes sharp. Where the hell have you been? I raised an eyebrow. Not here, like you wanted. He clenched his jaw, but before he could say anything, my mom spoke. It's your brother, she said, her voice shaking. He stole something from the wrong people. I frowned. The wrong people? Dad ran a hand over his face. Some guys at that arcade he hangs out at. We don't know all the details, but they called the cops. He's in holding right now. I almost laughed. Of course. My brother had spent years treating me like trash, thinking he was untouchable. And now, the real world had hit him like a truck. I crossed my arms. And what do you want me to do about it? Mom gave me a desperate look. We need money for a lawyer, for bail, something. We need your help. I just stared at her for a long moment. Then, finally, I smiled. They needed me, but I sure as heck didn't need them. After all those years of pushing me to the side and treating me like I was invisible, now they were looking at me like I was their only hope. And in a way, I guess I was. I shoved my hands in my pockets and tilted my head a little. So, let me get this straight, I said. You told me I wasn't wanted. You let my brother treat me like garbage. You didn't care when I walked out. But now that he's in trouble, you suddenly remember I exist? My dad's jaw tightened up. This isn't about that. This is about family. I let out a short, sharp laugh. Oh, now we're family? That's funny, 'cause last night, I was a burden. My mom's eyes were pleading. Please, she said. We can talk about all of that later. Right now, we need to get him out before this gets worse. I took a slow breath, pretending to think it over. And how much money are we talking about? Dad sighed. Bail is set at $10,000. We can pay some of it, but we need you to cover the rest. I whistled. 10 grand? Huh. Sounds serious. My mom perked up a little. So you'll do it? I smirked. Oh, absolutely not. Their faces just fell. I almost felt bad. Almost. Excuse me, my dad snapped. I just shrugged. Not my problem. My mom's voice cracked. But he's your brother. No. I corrected her. He's your son. And you made it pretty clear that I was never part of this family. Dad stepped forward, anger flashing in his eyes. You think you're proving some kind of point? You think this is funny? I met his glare head on. No. I just think it's fair. Mom reached for my arm. We'll pay you back. We. I took a step back. You think I trust you? The people who threw me away without a second thought. Her mouth opened and closed, but she didn't have anything to say. I shook my head. Here's what's gonna happen. You're gonna figure this out without me, just like you always wanted. And I'm gonna walk away, just like you told me to. I turned on my heel and headed back to my friend's car. Behind me, my dad shouted, "Don't you dare walk away from us." I glanced over my shoulder. You already did it first. Then I hopped in the car and drove off, leaving them to deal with the mess they created. As I drove away, my hands clenched around the steering wheel. I thought I should have felt triumphant, like I finally got the last laugh. But instead, I just felt hollow. Not because I regretted my decision. No, they had it coming. But because after everything, even after they begged for my help, I knew they still didn't see me as family. They just saw me as a solution, a wallet, a safety net. And now, that net was gone. That night, I sat in my apartment, scrolling through my phone while enjoying a nice, greasy burger from my favorite takeout place. It was peaceful, quiet, the kind of night I hadn't had in years living under that roof. I had half a mind to turn my phone on silent, but I couldn't resist checking my notifications. And, surprise, surprise, my family hadn't given up. My mom had sent 3 messages in a row. We can work something out. Please, let's talk. Your brother is still in jail. We're struggling to get the money together. Please, I know we were harsh before, but we're family. I nearly choked on my burger. Now we're family? Now they cared? That was rich. I was trying to decide if I should even bother responding when another text popped up, this time from my dad. Look, we can repay you. You just need to trust us. That one actually made me laugh out loud. Trust them? The same people who spent years treating me like an unwanted guest in my own home? The same ones who told me to leave without a second thought? Yeah, right? Just as I was about to put my phone down, another message came in. From my brother. Come on, man. You gonna let me rot in here? Oh, this was too good. After everything he put me through, all the times he pushed me around, made fun of me, called me useless, now he wanted my help? I had to have a little fun with this. You told me no one wanted me around. I'm just respecting your wishes, winking face. I sent. Delivered. Read. No response. I smiled to myself, stretched my arms behind my head, and took another bite of my burger. Life was pretty good. The next morning, I woke up to a flood of messages. I rubbed the sleep out of my eyes, unlocked my phone, and started scrolling through them. Apparently, things were getting pretty rough for the family back home. We had to sell the TV and Dad's golf clubs. Your mother is furious with me. Hope you're happy. Please, we don't know what to do anymore. And then, the best one yet. From my brother. I swear to God, when I get out of here, you better pray I don't find you. Now that was hilarious. The same guy who needed my help was threatening me? I had to respond to that one. That's some strong language for someone who needs my help. Try again. An entire hour passed before my mom finally swallowed her pride and sent another message. Please, we're really struggling. I let her sit in that desperation for a few minutes before replying. Tell you what, I'll bail him out. But there's one condition. She didn't even hesitate. Anything. I smirked. I want a public apology. In the family group chat. A long one. I want you all to admit every horrible thing you've said to me, and I want you to thank me for helping. I knew that would crush my dad's pride. But if they wanted my help that badly, they'd have to grovel for it. Sure enough, it took them a while. But eventually, a new message popped up in the family group chat. We need to talk about how we've treated you. We've made mistakes, and we realize now how much we've hurt you. We deeply regret our words and actions. You are an important part of our family, and we are grateful for your generosity in helping us during this difficult time. It was stiff, it was forced, and it was completely humiliating for them. Perfect. I gave them a simple thumbs-up emoji and went about my day. Did I actually bail my brother out? Haha. Absolutely not. But at least I finally got the apology I always deserved. The following week, I got a call from. My brother called. Man, I can't believe you did this to me, he growled through the phone, his voice thick with anger. I thought you were better than this. I couldn't help but laugh. It wasn't a mean laugh, just the kind of laugh you have when the universe delivers you exactly what you've been waiting for. Better than what? I asked, my tone light and teasing. I'm just giving you what you wanted. You told me I wasn't wanted, remember? So now you get to stay exactly where you belong. I could hear him banging something against the jail bars in the background. You can't do this. You're really just leaving me here. I let the silence hang there for a moment before I responded. You know, I thought about bailing you out. I really did. But you and the rest of the family? You've made it pretty clear that I don't matter. I paused, letting those words sink in. So now, I get to laugh. I get to enjoy my life knowing I'm out here living it on my terms while you're stuck. Enjoy your stay. He didn't say anything for a while, and I could almost picture him fuming on the other end. But I didn't care. After years of being treated like an afterthought, like some invisible nobody, this was my moment. When I hung up the phone, a wave of relief washed over me. I wasn't angry anymore. In fact, I couldn't even feel that bitterness I used to carry around for them. It had all just melted away. And, just like that, my brother stayed in jail. They tried everything to get him out, but the charges were serious enough that it was out of their hands. They begged and pleaded, but the truth was, they needed me far more than I ever needed them. As for me, I walked away, head held high, knowing that I had finally taken back control. I didn't need to do anything drastic to make their lives miserable. They'd already done that for me. All I had to do was sit back, enjoy my peace, and know that they would never, ever, see me the same way again. And every time I glanced at my phone, with its constant reminders of how desperate they were, I smiled. Because, in the end, it wasn't just about the money. It was about the sweet, satisfying taste of payback. And, for the first time in a long time, I was finally living for me. Honestly, this story is pretty satisfying. The protagonist really got screwed over by his family, but the way he turned things around and didn't help his brother out, that was brilliant. It's like the perfect revenge, and he didn't even have to do anything too over the top. Just let them deal with the consequences. What do you think? Was it the right call? Or did he go too far? Would you have helped, Or is this payback well-deserved? Let me know what you think.